Stop and check this story out. Tom DeLonge made the announcement that there's a huge pyramid underground in Antarctica.
For the past few years, Tom DeLonge's been researching the topic of strange aircrafts, something that's fascinated many of us, and in many of his interviews he's come forward and made some interesting announcements, with one of the most recent ones being that there's a large pyramid in Alaska. It was during an interview when he detailed some of the things that he knows about the mysterious Black Alaskan Pyramid. For those that aren't aware, allegedly scientists, geologists and army officials have discovered what appears to be a huge pyramid underneath Alaska, which is said to be around twice the size of the pyramid found at Giza. Around 1992, scientists working in the area said they detected a mysterious anomaly buried underground, which in turn led them to use seismic recording equipment in order to get a better understanding of what they were dealing with. It turns out that the equipment confirmed a large structure in the shape of a pyramid was directly below them. Tom said the following during an interview. "Did you know there's a pyramid in Alaska? I can tell you some crazy stuff. There's a pyramid and it's underground and they've been studying it for decades. It's bigger than Giza. It's not that far from Valdez, I believe. I would have to check on where it is, but I know a very important person who met with one of the lead defense contractors that was studying it, and they told him that they finally know what it's doing, and that it's not turned on. They think it's suppressing consciousness. This is wild. There was an earthquake of sorts, and all of the seismographs picked up on the waves all through everything, and they saw this whole anomaly as the shockwaves went through the land there, and there was some kind of structure or something that disturbed the waves. So they dug some tunnels and elevator shafts, and they've been underground studying it ever since. The news did a little piece on it, and then all of a sudden all of the information vanished, and they were told to never air this again. The only thing I want to say is that there's a pyramid and we've been studying it." End quote. Things got interesting when one of the geologists who was involved in the recordings came forward with some further details, and this was a gentleman by the name of Douglas A. Muchler, and he said that a detonation was set off in the area, and at the time this was initially done in order to map the Earth's crust. However, the recording he got back confirmed that a huge pyramid was sitting firm inside the Earth. Tom then goes on to detail that after this happened, a news crew came in and decided to run a story. But when Douglas tried to get into contact with the news team to see how the story was going, he was told that the story had never run, saying that they didn't have a copy of the broadcast, and was told not to ask any more questions, and that nothing else would be reported on. After searching around and asking family and friends whether they had recorded the story, he quickly discovered that the story had seemingly vanished, although he notes that people did report seeing it, and confirmed that they had seen it by reciting some of the details of the findings. It turns out that the mysterious discovery was only covered by Anchorage's Channel 13. Douglas then emailed Linda Howe, an American investigative journalist. The email reads as follows. "My name is Douglas A. Muchler, CW2, USA retired, and during my service tour in Alaska I was informed of a pyramid underneath the land in Alaska. There is other information concerning this that came to my attention after it was reported to us in 1992. I've tried to pass this information to others, but have not heard any response to my info. I assure you that I'm telling the truth about this, and I think this is being kept quiet by our government, as the news was buried the very next day after it was brought to my attention. If you can help me get this information out, please call me so I can talk to you about this. My phone number is redacted. The whole story is pretty interesting and this can be verified with your contacts. I'm assured of that, as I do not have them and came up with zero from the news people there. I'll tell you the whole story if you're interested. I've only contacted a couple of people, but have not heard back from any of them. I'm wondering if my emails are getting through to them, or is this an old story that has no interest to news reporters?" End quote. Due to the strange nature of the discovery, some have questioned whether the story was removed, something that online researchers have said sometimes happens when high up officials don't want a story getting out. As of right now, those who live close to the area assure that they watched the recordings, and have even gone on to say that the surrounding area is home to some unsolved mysteries, many of which involve disappearances and strange human and animal behavior. As mentioned around 1992, scientists working in the area said they detected a mysterious anomaly underneath the ground, which in turn led them to use seismic recording equipment in order to get a better understanding of what they were dealing with. Although many in the area suspect that something big was found, no more information has come out in recent years to help us understand what was discovered.